Welcome to Conspiracies Condensed, where history's most controversial secrets are uncovered, analyzed, and exposed. From government cover-ups to declassified experiments, we dive deep into the conspiracies that turned out to be true. What if the greatest threat to American democracy wasn't from abroad, but from within the boardrooms of its wealthiest citizens? This is the true story of a nearly forgotten coup attempt, one that could have changed everything. In the shadow of the Great Depression, while the nation struggled to survive, a secret plan was forming. A plot to overthrow President Franklin D. Roosevelt and replace democracy with a fascist regime, right here in the United States. It sounds like a wild conspiracy theory, but this time, it was real. This is the story of the business plot, an attempted coup involving some of the most powerful men in America, and the one general who refused to play along. America is reeling. Banks have collapsed, unemployment is sky high, and newly elected President Franklin D. Roosevelt begins rolling out the New Deal. But not everyone is cheering. Many in big business see FDR's policies as socialism, threatening their wealth and power. Fascism is rising in Europe, and to some American elites, it looks effective. They don't want communism, they want control. Behind closed doors, they begin to whisper, what if the president were removed? What if a strong man, a decorated general, took charge instead? Major General Smedley Butler was a decorated war hero. Twice awarded the Medal of Honor, he was beloved by soldiers and veterans alike. In the summer of 1933, Butler was approached by men claiming to represent a powerful coalition of businessmen. They told him they admired his leadership. They wanted him to lead a force of 500,000 veterans to seize the White House. Their goal? Remove FDR, create a new cabinet under Butler's command, and run the country like a corporation. But they picked the wrong general. Rather than go along with the plan, Butler played along just long enough to gather information. Then, he blew the whistle. He testified before Congress, detailing names, meetings, and the full scope of the plan. The House Un-American Activities Committee launched an investigation. Some of the men involved were connected to Wall Street firms, major banks, and industrial giants. Names like J.P. Morgan, DuPont, and Goodyear. But here's the twist. No one was arrested. The committee confirmed Butler's account, but swept the findings under the rug. When news broke of the coup attempt, newspapers downplayed the story. Headlines framed it as far-fetched or unproven. Some outlets mocked Butler, calling it a misunderstanding or exaggeration. But internal reports, now declassified, confirmed that the plot was real and the threat was serious. Why wasn't anyone prosecuted? Because the accused were some of the most powerful and influential men in America. In the end, the business plot was buried, not disproven. After the hearings, Butler became an outspoken critic of war profiteering and corporate influence in government. He wrote a powerful expose titled "War is a Racket," in which he claimed that American soldiers were used as muscle for Wall Street and oil companies. He warned that democracy was fragile and that the real enemy wasn't on a battlefield overseas. It was in boardrooms and private clubs right here at home. Butler died in 1940, but his warning rings louder today than ever before. So what became of the business plot? It faded from history textbooks. No indictments, no arrests, no mainstream retellings, but declassified records, sworn testimony, and Butler's own words remain. A nearly forgotten moment when democracy came under threat from within. It reminds us that power, when concentrated, often protects itself, and that not all coups involve tanks or gunfire. Some begin with handshakes and campaign donations. Major General Smedley Butler stopped the plot, but history barely remembers it. So ask yourself, if this happened once, could it happen again? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more truths buried beneath the headlines. This broadcast is ending. Your real journey is just beginning. 2 codes, 2 keys. Which truth will you unlock?